I'm Dr. Kristen R. Bromley. This video series, which is part of my online music academy, specifically accompanies Note Reading Book 3 from my Method book series. Like all my books, this selection is available to purchase through Amazon and Google Play. For help, see the links in the description below. In the videos which are part of this specific course, I progress through the lessons in Note Reading Book 3, explaining and demonstrating concepts and playing each of the songs and exercises contained therein, so you can hear how they sound and play them right along with me. You are of course welcome to view these videos with or without the book, but with the book you can work through all the songs and exercises, and in the process come to know the entire fretboard and master the skill of playing written notes all along the neck. Alright, let's get to jamming in this lesson. Hi there, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. This is lesson 3, which goes with the lesson 3 in Note Reading Book 3. That's a lot of threes. 3. But this is video lesson 3 that matches lesson 3 in Note Reading Book 3. In Note Reading Book 3, it's all about learning how to read notes all along the neck. So for standard music notation, how do we recognize where those notes are along the neck so we can read different music that we come across, different sheet music. It also is good because we learn where the notes are all along the fretboard, so it's great. In lesson 1 and 2, we worked on learning scale form 1 for the first octave. So just a single octave scale form. We worked on C major, the C major scale there in second position. We also looked at how we can play that same thing in 7th position with our root on the 6th string instead of on the 5th string. Then in lesson 2, we worked on doing that same thing up an octave. So we worked on playing C major up that octave right there in 9th position and shifting up to 10th position as needed. And then at the end of that lesson, we talked about how you can do that same thing in 4th/5th position. We worked on reading melodies up that octave. In this lesson, in lesson 3, we're going to work on an alternate form of how to play the major scale, meaning we're going to finger it differently. And the reason we need to learn an alternate one is that it will help us fill out the positions. So there's 5 positions. We played right here with the C major. We could continue and play the rest of that position. There's more notes available that are part of C major, and we need an alternate form to find those. Same thing where we were playing here. If I keep going, I can play other notes in C major, but I need an alternate form. And same thing going higher. If I wanted to go lower or higher when we were playing up the octave, I need an alternate form to find those notes. Same thing here. So we need this alternate form. There's one other position between those 5 places that we can come to when we use form 1, or now this new form that we're going to learn. We can cover the entire neck, so it's awesome. So we've learned how to read and worked on reading, I should say, getting comfortable reading in C major with that first scale form in multiple locations, depending on the string set, and in multiple octaves. Now we're going to do that same thing with an alternate form. Then in lesson 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, we will combine these forms and learn how to read in the 5 different positions. We'll fill out the rest of those positions. And once you've done that, you know how to read, the whole neck in the key of C major, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to dive in here and learn this second form. Right there on page 16, you see this alternate form written out. We start out in 5th position, and this alternate form, we're going to start with our pinky on the root, or our ring finger on the root, instead of our index or middle finger. So with the other form, we're starting out with this part of the hand. In this alternate form, we're starting with the back part of the hand. So we start with that pinky, and then 1, 3, 4 on the next string, 1, 3, and then I shift up 1, 2. So we're in 5th position to start, and then we shift up to 4th position, and then you can come down multiple ways. You come down the exact way you went up, grabbing 2, 1, and then 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 4. Or sometimes I'll go 2, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 1, and shift when I get to the 5th string instead of on the 4th string. The other way that I'll a lot of times do it is 2, 1, grab with my pinky on that 4th string, then grab with my index finger. So I just collapse that shape. That doesn't really require any awkward shifts. And that one's pretty easy. So that's the way I do it a lot of times on descending, but you can do it exactly how is written there with the suggestion. That suggestion is mostly ascending. You could also, though, on the ascending, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 4, that facilitates grabbing 1, 2. Figuring out different fingerings in the shift, as I talked about in the last lesson, anytime there's a shift involved, finding the different ways you can do it comfortably is great. Because in the melodies, one fingering may be better than another at any given time. And so having multiple ways of being able to do it is good. But at first, you may just want to get comfortable with one. So there I used the index to pinky, going both directions. Okay, we're going to go ahead now, play this scale, ascending and descending together, and then we're going to play number 1 at the bottom of page 16. So you got 1, 2, Reti, and. I'm going to do it again. You could try an alternate fingering if you want to. Time, and you can try another fingering if you want to. On a general basis, my favorite is to go 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, grab with my pinky instead of ring finger, 1, 2, 4, then grab with my index finger instead of my middle finger. That's my favorite way for this given spot. Okay, we're going to play number 1. So you got 1, 2, Reti, and. Now you might notice that some of those places where there's a shift involved get a little bit tricky, and so you can work those in different ways. Like I mentioned in the last lesson when we were working up an octave and had to do some shifting. But that's the reality of playing guitar, so you want to start to find comfortable ways to shift through the different melodies. Now in the directions, what is suggested, and actually really part of lesson 3 here, is to go back to lesson 1 and play all those songs and exercises using this scale form in this position. I'm not going to do that here on this video, but you can go back to video number 1, the lesson 1 video, and play with me if you want to. Otherwise, you are familiar with all those songs and exercises because we've already done them, and you can just work through at the tempo you need to, getting comfortable reading with this alternate form. So that's the first thing to do. Read especially some of those first exercises if you don't want to do the 12 and 13 and 14, 15, those ones at the back of each lesson that are a little bit more difficult. You could ignore those, but you want to get comfortable at least with the first few exercises and songs that are in there to get comfortable in this position. But The next thing that happens after you do that is that we transfer this up to the next string set, and it's actually going to go up an octave. So on page 17 then, if you look over to page 17, turn the book over, whatever you need to do there. Page 17, we've got how we can take that same form up to the next string set, and that puts us in 12th position. So my pinky is on the C at the 5th fret, my index finger is at the 12th fret, so I'm in 12th position, and I can play that C major scale there. Now what's nice with this one is that we don't have to do any shifting, because the B string, the tuning difference between that G string and B string, the open G and B, is different than the rest. It's only a third instead of a perfect fourth. And so because of that, we have to shift up usually. But in this case, that means that we don't have to shift at all, because we were having to shift down in the previous position. So where we had to shift down here, we now just get to stay in the same position, which is really nice. So you want to play that form up and down a few times and get comfortable there. I'm going to do that with you. You got 1, 2, ret, D, and we have that C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Let's do it again a little bit faster. Now we can read up the octave. And so there on page 17, the bottom of the page, number 2, we're going to read that exercise. It's really the same exercise, but we're going to be reading it up an octave. Let's go ahead and do that using the scale form for C major. It's there in 12th position. Here you go. 1, 2, ret, T, and. Okay, and then the directions tell us that we want to take, and in that position, go replay the songs and exercises in lesson 2 we did there, only in this position. And so that's what you want to go ahead and do to get comfortable there, or at least the first several. You can ignore those ones at the back that are really hard if you want to, but you want to read some in this position, those melodies and other scale exercises, so you get comfortable with it. Once you've done that, then it says, hey, we can do this in one more place. So you'll see that form written there sort of in the middle of the page in 7th position, where our pinky starts on the C note that's at the 10th fret on the 4th string. And it's the same form, but the B string throws it off a little bit. So this time, I usually finger it a little differently. I go 4, 1, 3, 4, and then this is what has to be a fret higher. So I usually go 2, 4, 1, 2 on the high string. That way I don't have to shift at all. But you could keep the same fingering that was done down low. 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, where you do a little bit of shifting. But I usually don't want to shift when I don't have to. So I just replace my fingers and use middle, pinky, index, middle, just like that. I'm going to get comfortable playing that scale in that position. Do it a couple times together. So 1, 2, red, T, and we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, and again. Okay, and now we'll read number 2 at the bottom of the page in that position. So we got 1, 2, ret, ti, and. Okay, so then once you've done that, you want to go back to lesson 2 again, and you could read all those songs and exercises, or at least some of them, in that position. And then you'll be prepared, once you've done that, to go on to lesson 4, where we're going to start working in full positions. So lesson 4 will start in second position, and we'll fill out the rest of that position. We'll learn how to do that. And then we'll keep working through just positions until we've done all 5 that cover the whole neck. And I say cover the whole neck, and you're like, 5 positions, does that really do it? What happens is we got the 5 positions, and then they start over again. And so the same scale that we were just playing, or that I just played down in second position, can be played up here in 14th and 15th position. So what I played here in second and third can be done there. So get familiar with that alternate scale, and then I'll join you in the next lesson, where in lesson 4 we'll start working a full position, and then we'll continue on with that. Hope you're having fun with the guitar. Take care. I'll see you again. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For help with other guitar playing skills, check out more of my method books and the numerous lessons available as part of my online academy here on YouTube. You can find more information about me and my products at kristenbromley.com. Take care.